All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon, June 8th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Great to see Gene, Norman, Brian, Leda, Bonnie, Alex, William, D, all of our students and trial members, of course, live inside our trading room. And for all of us on social media, welcome on back, Facebook Live, YouTube. So without further ado, let's hop right into this next trade, maybe literally hop right back into it myself. I ended up just taking a quick 12-cent loss on this trade. Oh no, it's starting to make the move back up as we speak. Oh man, so I was hopeful to see this make a run back up towards 6 heading into this afternoon. So most recently, I was like traveling throughout the early parts of the afternoon, just going back from our office back to my house. Here I am back in my home office. But, I come back, I'm working on Workhorse, WKHS. We were trading that live inside the Cyber Group room. And then I'm just flipping around. We got the afternoon meeting coming up, of course, here at this time. And I'm looking at next. I have Bookmap up level 4. I don't know if I could show it. Let me see here. I ended up making a mistake. Let's see if I could swing it. Oh, okay, not bad. Pretty good, actually. I might miss this move myself, folks. If so, that would honestly kind of suck. But nonetheless, we saw this stock make a huge run after the market opened up today. I didn't really talk about this too much live inside our Traders Talk workshop. We were talking more about, like I said, Workhorse and then Clover, CLOV. We ended up seeing the stock get halted when it reopened up from its halt. There was a 296,000 share transaction, a print on the tape, what I call the opening halt print. And that was right off of 570. So, it was kind of like one of those things where I came back and it was right back up to the level. I avoided all of this BS where it was kind of shaking through it off, low volume, low momentum at the time. And right here, I ended up getting filled on the way up. Things were looking good. I wanted up to 6. And it came back down. I was, hanging on here for a moment, hanging on. And then obviously you see the snap down. And who knows, maybe this could just be the beginning of a slingshot here heading into the market close. This is still not too far off its highs from 613, about 40 cents to get there. So it's not exactly like right there, but not totally dumped off from that price. I'm going to put this on our list to begin. Obviously, I'm pretty hopeful to see this make a move at least up to 6. We'll see where this can take us, at least from 570 here. All right, so I'll tell you, if I end up missing this trade, honestly, again, it would stink, but we'll move on. Actually, we'll try and kind of make it quick with that in mind. I also didn't refill up my water bottle before I started here, so that's also a good reason as to why I want to go quick coming up, but let's go from top to bottom right away, folks. Leda says the WEN trade. Like every time I see that ticker when Leda, and I just did it right now, every time I see that ticker, I say Wendy, not Wen or WEN. I always think it's Wendy M live inside our trading room here. I think it's her chatting. So I see Leda calling out the Wendy's trade, WEN, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, in just a second. Number 11 on the gainer side here. So I'll let you know if I get back in on this next stock. I have it up on my other platform here, but we'll kind of just go from top to bottom here to start. So the Clover stock, we did talk about this trade during our Traders Talk workshop. For any one of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, I'd mentioned from the morning, I'll say the same thing. Hey, we do this live inside the Cyber Group room every Tuesday morning. So if you're looking to join us, just go right down to the link on the banner below just to get started on a small trial. But you'll have access not just to the live version of that, but the recording of that. That'll be up on your student dashboard coming up later on this afternoon. But for right now, the Clover trade as it stands, 618 million shares across the day. That's the first time that I looked at that number today. I mean, I saw it in the morning. It was obviously like 100 million plus and so on and so forth. But like that's pretty crazy if you just think about that. I mean, I don't know what the float is on this stock. I'm not going to check right now. It's just to say, for any one stock to be trading over 618 million shares across maybe 6 hours of market action, that's wild. So, I think that this would be pretty exhausted, if anything. And obviously it shows based across the last couple of hours on my 5-minute chart. So I'm not as keen to put this on our watch list, given the range that the stock had made today. Certainly possible to see it move up or down $1 to $2 in the next hour. But, I'm going to find better opportunities, stocks that aren't as heavily traded or, just likely as exhausted. All right, so the next trade is pretty heavily traded itself, and has been pretty extended just across the last couple of days. So, I'm not backing on this trade yet. I didn't pull the trigger yet. Maybe if we can get back over 570, maybe in the next 10, 15 minutes, hopefully after I finish up, and that'd be great. But yeah, for right now, we'll keep it on our list just for that possibility, but we'll see if there's anything better, like I said. Speaking of exhausted, it's been a long day of speaking today as well, so I apologize for that. But the IHT, getting back to, IHT here, hospitality stock, not the only one that we'll be likely following here into the close, but this one ended up making a really nice pop, more so heading into the late morning, ended up making the slow build up, the trend, up towards 10. You would have expected a likely pop and drop from that level initially, and man, once it broke over 10, off and running, right? So it goes to show, but ended up leading to a higher high later on. To see this stock just like exponentially run from 9 all the way up to near 15, no surprise to see it dump all the way back down now towards that initial peak. I mean, let's just take a look. What is that, 1167? It's pretty close. Pretty close, and I don't think that's going to hold exactly. I think it would drop down probably towards like an 1150, if not that, maybe even lower towards 11 first. I don't know. I mean, given the range, again, much like Clover, this stock could make $1 to $2 per share move into the afternoon, but I don't know. I just feel like it already dumped off. Maybe not. We'll come back to it probably at the end. Put it on the side list. AEHL. Let me zoom in on the daily chart here because I'm not really too familiar with this trade. So anytime I'm not familiar with this stock, and I say that after doing this for like 6.5, 7 years at this point, but it's like you look at the daily chart and it's exactly what I would have guessed here. It's just a pop and drop type of stock. It doesn't trade a lot of volume every day. Probably one of those low float type of stocks. Again, I'm not going to check the float. Don't really care at this point. It's not really making the type of move that we would want it to make heading into this afternoon, so we'll pass. All right, so here we are. We get to Wendy's. When Wendy says my restaurant. You've been making some good money, I think, on this stock today, Wendy, if I'm not mistaken. Nice push back up here right now into the afternoon. So I love the afternoon push so far. Very heavily traded. Don't get me wrong, but when it kind of proves itself, shows its worth in terms of volatility, making this like really sharp squeeze up so far, it definitely leads me to be more interested in it, especially even here. Look at the order book. I mean, pretty tight spread still. Definitely thin orders on the bid and the ask. Definitely not like 1,000 share lot orders at every price level. But nonetheless, I mean, the spread's manageable, likely going to find orders, off the whole number levels, at least, off 29 here, perhaps 30 up above. So yeah, Wendy's definitely one. WEN. We'll put this back on our list. All right, I'm going to hold off. I'm a little patient here on the NEXT trade. It's back over 570. I was like contemplating right now, just like, do I pull the trigger? Hold off, at least for now. CYCN. This was one from the pre-market list, if I'm not mistaken. It was, yeah. CYCN, I posted this at 7:56 Eastern time. Didn't really do much, right? So this was like kind of one of the few duds off the pre-market list. And then afterwards, it still kind of fizzled out. And I mean, hey, it ended up making this nice squeeze up here pretty surprisingly off of like 350-ish, 360. And, again, same thing though, fizzled out pretty quick. You just take a look at this move here, seeing a pop, pull back, consolidate. It popped at the open, pulled back, consolidated. Same pattern. So is it as likely to make another pop back up later on today? It's just not as close to the highs here, I think. So, for right now, we'll pass. If it ends up making that move, I'm sure we'll catch it, just right off the initial stages of it. Now, this is the type of stock I want to follow, at least at this point. So, this is what I'll check the news out for. I don't know what's going on with this ASTS trade here, but, with this moving up pretty nicely, I am interested. I will check it out, even though it doesn't matter as far as like me making my decision to buy or sell at a certain price. But ASTS, no news, no headline. That's it, unfortunately. I wish there would be like some cool headline out there for this one, but nice run. I don't know. I mean, hey, I'm not familiar with the stock. That's not going to deter me from, at least putting this on our list, if not taking a trade in the next hour off it. All right, so I don't have this up on my book map on my level 4. I'm not going to bring it back up now at this point. Just kind of transitioning back to my home office, it was like, it's going to be a schlep to do it. Right now, you could see at least, though, for the meantime, 10:05, though, big volume level across the afternoon so far, probably the last like 5-10 minutes even. The stock's been trading a lot of volume off 10:05. Now, that could have been off of one iceberg. That could have been off of just consolidation across a period of time. But either way, it's just to say now at this point, seeing it move up just 20-25 cents off that price. If it does pull back down to 10:05, perhaps that could be your big support level coming up. You would assume 10, but 10:05 I would also watch out for. Seems like there was more volume traded off of 10:05 even compared to 10 here. All right, there we go. So, we'll put this on our list here. Let me just check out the daily chart also, because not breaking all-time highs certainly, but historical support back from 11 pretty much 11:10, 11:03, 11:13 here, back from late March, early April. Yeah, this wouldn't shock me to get a little bit closer up to 11, if not maybe like even like an 11:10, and then just back off pretty quick. That seems like a really strong support level that got broken through. So the first time it gets up there, it should hold. I mean, there was a gap fill opportunity that we'll get to in just a second on the LOTZ trade. That one practically made the move that we were anticipating on it making. So, for this ASTS here, looking pretty good so far. Just get this fixed. All right, so not to be confused with the GOED trade, we got GOEV. Ended up making like a really, I guess, like under the radar move. Not to say low volume. Definitely traded good volume on the way up from like 9 up to 11, or at least 10.50. Then off the break from 10.50, ended up making like another run up towards like 11.75, 11.92 high of the day. Given where this stock is right now in the afternoon, again, it's not as close to the highs. It's definitely building a higher low. Almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern if this support could hold. And if it does, then perhaps we can get another move up. Maybe I'll come back to the stock at the end. Definitely can make like a 50-cent type of move up or down. Ah, damn it. The next trade's starting to pop back up. I'm just checking back on my platform right now, and I'll show you folks right now here too, because I missed it, I think. But made the pop, made the break over 570 again. I'm not in it, but if anyone jumped in off that level, it looks like a lot better of an opportunity to see it make its move up to 6. All right, let's see what else we got here. Also, got to go quick. I just finished up my water. All right, so the lot stock. This one ended up making the gap fill up towards just about 650, and I said there was a very good chance it could squeeze up higher, but don't be surprised for it to shake back down, and it is shortable. So that would be a really good opportunity. And so far, I mean, it has been, and I still think it can be. It's trading about 33 to 35,000 shares per minute in volume, so it looks good. It's at the VWAP right around there now at 673. So probably shake around here a bit as it did from just about like 10-15 minutes ago. But yeah, I still find this as a good opportunity. More on the short side now at least. But if it does, false break on the way down and squeeze back up, then hey, maybe we catch it, as a long one more time. But, for as much as this filled the gap and up, I think that'll continue to drop off. I think that's my, first opinion there. All right, so Kodak, KODK, we got a couple of shouts live inside our trading room about this one from Norman. Squeezing up from 10. I was calling this out earlier today. And to say, hey, I mean, it's understandable to see it blast right off of 10 without the false break. I would have expected a false break at first. So, to tell you that I easily would have jumped in this trade over 10, honestly, I don't know, because, I mean, it broke over 10 so quick. So if I was looking for a pop, a drop, and then another move right back over 10, which it didn't do at all across the day, it just held under 10, then there's a chance I may have missed that move. Maybe I would have chased it on a half-size position knowing that, that could have been it. Maybe average down from that point if I'm wrong. Nonetheless, I mean, this stock's really looking good so far heading into the afternoon. So Kodak, familiar name, definitely at this point. Good volume on the order book. I would assume a major resistance off of 11. Ah, crap. You know what? I just missed it also here again. The next trade just spiked all the way down to 570, and it's making the slingshot now. I just missed the pullback on NEXT here, too. I'm trying to juggle a few things at once. Never the right thing to do, but, at times I try and jump into a few positions here in front of you folks, but I just missed that pullback right down to 570. Damn, that thing just made a move right back up. Of course, I'll show the next trade, the stock I'm referring to, just at the end of this meeting. It's already on our list. Workhorse, it's like building this like wedge, pennant, however you may call it. Nonetheless, we're all thinking the same thing. Lower highs, higher lows, filling in sideways. So you're expecting a big move from that pennant building, so to say. Let me just double check in on a stock like BlackBerry, a stock like an AMC. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up my platform. Let's see. Pretty much they're making the same play. I mean, the sideways move here, the pennant building, the wedge again. AMC holding a little bit closer to its lows or dropping off a bit further first. Bouncing, beginning to off at 54, it looks like. But I don't know. Getting back to the workhorse trade, I feel like it's just traded too much volume the last few days. So we'll keep it off our list for right now. I think we may have even had this on our list in the afternoon yesterday, right? So listen, if it doesn't make a big move, I'd rather just not be a distraction. But if I see it, if one of more of the level 3 to 4 or 5 traders, in our trading room, see it early and they want to call it out, then at that point I would definitely take a look. And if I see something good on it, I'll call it out myself. We'll work together as a team. But I feel like there are better opportunities right now compared to this workhorse trade the way it's moving so far. The FUV stock, yep, it's right at the high still. All right, cool. So this was making a triple top practically. I mean, the same pattern that Kodak was making earlier, but this one like much more of like a slow grinder type of play, unfortunately, where you would have expected once it broke out over that top, over that resistance, for it to make a really sharp run up. It hasn't yet. So, you know what? I'll put it on our list. It's actually trading kind of low volume per minute, just only about like 6,000 to 8,000 shares per minute on average. It's thin volume on the order book too, so probably not my favorite. But the way it's at near the highs heading into the afternoon here, I would have expected this to make a better move up towards just about 16, maybe higher towards 1650 if things look better off that level. Actually, NEXT just broke down below that 570. So you know what? I'm actually pretty happy, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. I'm not like trying to juggle around all of this here at once. Still might give me time to get in after this meeting. All right, so you know what? Let's hop over to the losers list, folks. If there's anything looking just as good, if not better, from the gainer side, if there's anything I skipped over, just type it in the chat board. Let me know. And just try and finish through this meeting pretty quick. The ACRS, look at this thing. It's weird how the matrix is set up here by the 10th of the penny here, seems like. I don't know. It's shortable. Thin volume on the order book, though. So, I'm not too particular about that. It could be a good opportunity. I think there's just better out there so far. How about this one? The win trade. This was the stock that I think it was like Oppenheimer or like HC Wainwright ended up providing like an $8 price target for. This is why I say you don't want to hold your breath waiting for 8. Off the news break, and for such a high target for a $2 stock, you definitely hope as a day trade it gives you like about like 50 cents, maybe even $1, which it did. But you don't want to hope for 8 here on this trade. It's like the same thing waiting for VTNR to hit 25. Just ain't happening. All right, so let's see what else we got. If there's anything else looking good, folks, just skimming through the losers list. Yeesh, thank God I didn't get in on that next trade. Holy smokes. I'm going to show you the conclusion of the next trade coming up here in just a second, folks. UXIN, shortable at the low of the day, down over 8%. This one has pretty good volume on the order book, at least. It is a stock that we are pretty familiar with. We were pretty bullish on this stock as the day trade just, over the last couple of weeks, but today certainly as a short dropped off quite a bit. Yeah, definitely. I like, we'll add this to our list at least. See if this ends up, making a faster breakdown lower heading into the close, or if it found support here, breaks back through 450 on the way up, maybe some sort of dead cat bounce. All right, so let's see what else we got. That next trade might be getting halted soon. Not the type of hold I like. That's just about it on the losers end, folks. Market's flat as can be. So, I'm not expecting for a whole lot to be moving up or down, really, unless if it's off of news that came out from, this morning or yesterday even. But this Wish trade's taken off quite a bit here, right? So, I saw this, from the trading room. I saw this also from Benzinga Pro. The Wish trade, let's just take a look just to see what the news is. I got the ping from it, so I don't know if there's really any news on it. Let me just say. Ah, man, it's just you would at least like to see a headline out there. It says that Wish shares trading higher amid increased retail investor interest in the stock. That's it. That's all they got. I mean, this definitely is a gap fill. You could see on the daily chart as it gapped down back in May 12th from like 1126. What do we got here? 1108. So this hit a high so far of 1069. It's not even a guarantee that it will move up to 1108. I mean, hey, there's a chance it could even break higher from that price, but we just don't know yet. So we have to react and move with the stock. For right now, I think it definitely accelerated a bit from the trend that it was making off the lows. That's why you're getting this pullback now off the highs, and I think that's just pretty apparent. So I would watch for 10. I would watch for 10 to be a bit of a support level, if not 10, maybe like a 10-10, to build as a higher low, and then from there, hopefully begin to squeeze up. My favorite part about this trade, I haven't said it yet, but you could probably imagine I'll say it, stock shortable. So if it ends up actually completely dumping off from this point, stock's up 33%. We've seen stocks make much bigger moves in the grand scheme, but stock actually is shortable. We're not looking for that right off the bat, folks. I'm just saying, in the event that it doesn't break higher, this would be a decent opportunity to try and scalp maybe for a good 25 to 50 cents. I mean, it's already making that move, as you could see, but I wouldn't have done that off the high here at all. I'm just, saying now at this point, look for 10 to be support, look for a 10-10 maybe to be support, if not 10, and see where it goes. You got the ASTS trade already on the list. This one's breaking new highs already. Holy crap, this thing ended up already, not filling the gap, but making the move right up to that resistance. Look at that. I mean, well above it. It spiked all the way up towards a high of 1167 and pulled back down now. Damn, that was crazy. And Felix, look at you, man, live inside the Cyber Group room. He just picked up 56 cents on this trade. Got in from 11, scalped it essentially, but ended up getting 56 cents on that. Nice job, man. Excellent. Right from our coaching session this morning, Felix. We worked together earlier this morning on a few trades. He did all the work here on this one, here on this ASTS. Excellent. CLOV, also no headline. Yeah, I mean, we knew that, though, from P Trader on YouTube right now. And you mentioned that probably about a few minutes ago. But, that's like a Reddit play, so to say. That's gained so much interest on that one group. It's a very heavily shorted stock prior to them even finding out about it. So, that kind of makes the perfect storm. CLOV dropping off here a bit here. U1 from Doug C on YouTube asking about U1. If you didn't go over it already, sorry, joining late. No problem, Doug. No, I didn't go over this yet. You know what's really interesting? I thought I saw it here at least. Give me a sec. All right, you know what? Let me just double check here. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. All right, so, I assumed that you won, Doug. I looked at your comment early, and then I just got back to it now. So I looked at it earlier. I was like, all right, U1 is on the losers list because U1K is down over 8%, and I saw that. That's pretty freaky. That's like something I've rarely seen. And actually, the only other time I saw something like that was like maybe like a week and a half ago on the stock. But man, ended up making a huge squeeze up just now. It's only at 4%, but obviously breaking higher from yesterday already. Yeah, definitely. Great call. Wow, it took me by surprise. New call out. The AHT trade ended up just breaking over 6 just now. Norman mentioned that in the Cyber Group room just before. I just got the ping from Benzinga Pro right now on this, so we'll add this to our list, the AHT trade. All right, cool. I think that we have a pretty good list here, folks, heading into the afternoon. The only other two I'll check out pretty much at this point, unless there's something really taking off like this. But, the IHT, one from earlier, the other hospitality stock that I had mentioned, AHT is hospitality also. So they're not exactly like, side-by-side trades, as you could say. This is holding off. This is holding off my line perfectly. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I would have expected 1150 at least. All right, folks. I think that just about does it. GOEV, I guess, the only other thing. Not much going on there. All right, so in total, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stocks to work with. I think that's like one less than yesterday. Not bad. Getting better. All right, so for all of us in social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every afternoon, and especially if you joined me from earlier this morning, that much as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, once again, like I'd said before, feel free otherwise to join us here live inside the Cyber Group room weekdays, Monday to Friday. Just go right down to the link on the banner below just to get yourself started. For all of us there, just give me a few minutes. Going to refill up my water bottle, stretch the legs for a bit, and then I'll be back on the mic right around like 3:15, 3:30 going into the close. All right. I'll talk to you all then. Take care.